Fellow citizens, especially the colleagues in uniform, the colleagues in uniform, James William Mugeni is my name. I'm a medical clinic officer by profession. My colleagues in uniform, there's nothing like a third world. There's nothing like a third world. Each time we're speaking, each time we're talking, most of you keep telling me or keep saying, stop comparing us with the USA. If we don't compare with USA, what shall we admire? What shall we admire? What does mastering in Uganda mean? What does a PhD in Uganda mean? I mean, if somebody has a PhD, that's the epitome of education. You've reached the end. A PhD necessarily puts you in the first world. So why would you fear to talk of the first world when you have a PhD? Why would you fear to talk about the first world when you have a master's? These self-defeatist attitudes of calling yourself a third world is what is killing Ugandans. If a doctor cannot compare with a colleague in the first world, then what is medicine? If we're talking about cancers, we have cancers in Uganda. And where is the best practice for cancer? It's in the first world. And if you don't strive to treat cancer like the first world is treating cancer, then why do you have a master's? Why do you have a PhD? Why do you have a degree? There's nothing like a first world. We're now in a global village. I have picked this phone. This is the phone in my hands. And I'm communicating to you Ugandans. I'm communicating to you, to the whole world. If you can pick a phone in your hands like this, you should be able to see what is in the first world and see how the first world works and act like the first world. Admire the first world and work like the first world. Stop giving lame excuses that you are a third world. How do you have a PhD in treating jiggers? How do you have a PhD in treating malaria, which is preventable with mosquito nets and spraying? So what makes you to have a PhD and you can't reason as a first in the first world? Why would you, for example, be a general, fattened? I've seen generals in Uganda, the army generals. None of them reasons. You're a general and you're fattened like a pig for slaughter. You have nothing to contribute to your country. The young people who are struggling for change in Uganda are ordinary citizens who have no degrees, who have no education. They're the ones speaking to the educated people. The kids from Mugeni cannot be the reason for change. It is you who has gone to school. Why would you make education look useless? An educated person becoming vulnerable. I salute you, Uganda, and thank you for listening to me.